Right, so welcome back to Tomato Industries Detailing. Our next car in is this Lexus SUV RX. It's a 208 car, so you know it's got about almost 10 years of life. It's lit, and you can see, although it looked alright from the beginning, we've got quite a bit of swirling, spider webbing, and there is quite a long scratch we have that starts here and goes right along the panel, which I'll show you later on once we get this cleaned up a bit. So the history of this car was, it was in a fleet that I valeted for probably about 5 years, and but I haven't seen it for probably a good 7 or 8 months. I think it's been since I actually seen this car. She's purchased it, the lady that owns it now, and she owns it. It's no longer in a fleet, and she's asked me to completely detail the thing. She wants to sort of change the energy of the car, and because she won't be doing any washing or cleaning of this car, she wants me to put my best protection on it. So we're going coatings inside and out. Now the budget, although it's very good, it's not quite at the point where I can do a 2-stage outside and then do all the coatings outside and then coatings all through the interior. So I've got probably three choices where I work overtime and try and fit everything in. That's choice one. I've got choice two where I can, because there is a bit of work to be done on this paint, you know, you can see down here the amount of swirling and stuff. I'm just doing this taking this video in my yard before I move it up to the shed. I've only got a little bit of sunlight over there. This sort of is an example of what we're dealing with. So it is quite swirled, and I'm hoping not to find too many. There is more damage on this side. As you can see, there's scratch, and there's another one very similar to it that's down here. There's a few up here, so I'll have to work through them. Lexus paint shouldn't be too hard. It's medium to soft, so see how we go. It is black, so we do have to be very careful. So the main thing with black, for me anyway, is to really decontaminate it. So once pad comes onto paint, we're not going to be dragging anything on the pad and onto the paint and scratching it more, possibly leaving holograms, what have you. Just being careful not to overheat things while we're working the polish, not let things dry out too much, all those sort of things. So yeah, my second choice, as we're talking about choices, is I can do a 2-stage. We'll just say single stage bumpers and single stage below the trim here, and maybe even single stage on the top. Now I took measurements, paint measurements of all the panels. Sort of on average it's between 110 to 147, except for this small panel up on the roof, which has only got 89, and one of the panels on the back, can't remember which, because I did this about a week ago at her work, which was 280 something. So we've had a bit of panel work done at the back and some respraying. So I think the paint's there to do the 2-stage, except for up top we've got no choice there. It's going to be single stage. So also windscreen, rear window and sunlight will all be polished also to prepare for their coatings. Down the side I'll just put some 3M glass coatings, and I guess the third, so the choices are to go overtime, try and do it all, rush and maybe not do it as good as possible. Second way to do it is probably bumpers and below the trim, single stage, everything above there 2-stage. Maybe not so much the roof, because you really can't see the roof, so that's single stage up there, but everything else cut and polish. And then the other one is to do that 2-stage or a long single stage. So yeah, it's a long single stage on the outside, but once I get to the inside, to save some time, I only do the coating from the cockpit forward, and put just your normal, just say carpet pearl or whatever in the back there. But for the cockpit part, definitely coatings, because I have to put some coatings on the mats and that also. So yeah, there's a bit of work in this. It's going to be close with the budget, as it always is. But they're my choices, and I'm going to work them out in my head as I go through the stages and see what we've got here. Alright, so first we've got the pre-wash, then I'll hit it with some foam, then I'll give it the wash, and then we're up the shed to polish it. We'll have a better look at the paint there. Alright, catch you later. Alright, so welcome to Tomato Industries detailing, and here I am up in the shed. Just brought the car up, so I'm going to polish it today. Tomorrow we'll be putting on all the coatings and everything, and unfortunately I have to transport this car backwards and forth from my place, so I'm not going to do the wheel arches and tyres and wheels right till the very end. Not the unique thing to do or the best thing to do, but it's what I've got to do. I was hoping to leave it up here and just drive my car back, but that hasn't become the way it should roll. So this car, had a better look at it now. Probably see it's got a lot of, it's very dull. I think I said before, I polished this car quite a while back, probably 2.5 years ago, just a single stage, nothing too dramatic or anything, just sort of giving it, give the paint a bit more life. But I have found some interesting, it's probably chemical sort of, I'm not 100% sure, but you can see there, we've got some sort of, I don't know, you'd almost call it marring, but it's like striped. So let's see if I can get the light on this a bit better. Just through there, you can see it, and it goes back to the tail, the little fairing at the back. I've also found this on other areas of the car, which was sort of unexpected, but I don't think it should be too hard to get off. There's another area, it just sort of pops up in certain areas where whatever has happened, whether it's chemical or whatever, I'm not sure. So we got some up there, there, here, and there, and there, and there, yeah, and there. I'm not 100% sure what's caused this, but it's sort of, just hoping it comes out pretty easy, because with the budget and everything on this car, we're looking at a single stage polish. Exterior and interior coatings, so there's quite a bit of work to be done. Of course, the customer has changed the goalposts on me. They were due to be back, I was given a 10-day deadline, so I was going to leave it to the last 2 or 3 days before I started, and they changed their mind. So now I'm in a bit of a rush. Same thing's going to be done, just so I'm going to have to be working at times where I was hoping I wouldn't, which means at night time. So there's more of this sort of, I'm not 100% sure what this is, it sort of pops up in certain areas. Yeah, the paint is very swirly, there's a few scratches and that, but it's also taken, I only used a fine clay, but still there's marring from the clay, as you can see just there, going up the side of that panel. And once again, there's more of these sort of patches of, I'm not sure what they are really. It's hard to really tell, but it's almost like you've smudged it, but they don't rub off. So once again, I'm just hoping this is all going to come off. You can see the extent of this wing mirror is quite, this will need a cut and polish, of course. Some areas will need a cut and polish. We have quite a big scratch going down the side here. It's just here, and it goes the whole length of the car, right down to the back there. It goes way down there, and there's also some at the front fender, I believe she carries on to. So yeah, there it is again through here. So the sort of things I have to make sure come out. Yeah, definitely 2 stage would be best on this, but budget and what have you, we just won't allow it. A lot of swirls, but anyway, I'll do my best. And so also, for the majority, we're looking at single stage, then we'll get into some parts with the scratches and maybe some of the marring may need 2 stage. We'll just wait and see. Hopefully the paint reacts pretty well to the combination, which I'm going to use S20 and probably a more cutting pad than polishing pad. But I think there will be areas where I need to do 2-stage. Windscreen will get a polish, as will the rear window, and the B-pillars and everything, and the roof and sunroof, everything to be polished and coated. So anyway, I'm just trying this paint reacts. It's got me a bit baffled, these sort of smudges and that. They're not everywhere, they just appear out of the blue, and I'm not sure of the reason. This is where my technical knowledge breaks down a bit. But obviously the paint, something's come in contact with the paint and doesn't like it. Anyway, hopefully it's not going to be a problem. Alright, I'll report. The other thing is, I am pressed for a lot of time. I am pressed for time full on, so there won't be a lot of videoing of this. It may be just a before and after. We'll just see how it all goes. Okay, catch you later. Alright, welcome to Motor Industries Detailing. And here's a finished product, the Lexus, it was a 2008 Lexus RX. So yeah, this car came in, the lady wanted, she just bought it, so she wanted a coating put on it. Something the last couple of years, so I put some, started off doing the pre-wash, a wash. Didn't worry about safe washing this thing because it had so many swirls in it. This car was definitely a challenge. It's 10 years old, and it's had quite a bit of panel work, and some panels measured up to 280, I think it was, 250 Other panels were down to 89, and there was a ton of swirls on this, like I mean a ton. It's also your more major scratches that weren't coming out, and unfortunately some of the big swirlings on the panels that don't have much paint. So on the ones that did have paint, I was able to sort of chop into them a bit, but there's no use getting one panel perfect and the rest of them not so perfect. So anyway, the other thing is, this is you can see it's a black car. It's horrible polishing black paint, but this also has soft paint. So it was very finicky. So it got to the point where what sort of worked on one panel didn't work on the other panel because of the paint thickness. And if I went 5 or so seconds over on my polishing cycle, it'd heat the panel up so much that the polish would then stick to it again, and I'd have to do a real quick finish on top of that. So I did a 2-stage, very, very slowly. Unfortunately, it's taken me a while to do this. So I used the Zentool 21mm 5-inch backing plate, 5-inch Zentool white cutting pad. Now on that pad I used Menzerna 4000, only on speed 3, because anything above, it just once again heated the paint up too much, and if I went too quick it didn't cut into it enough, and there was a lot of stuff going on with this. It was one of these cars I would like to have been able to phone a friend, because yeah, it just kept changing what it was doing in the paint. And I'm a simple person, I just like the paint to all do the same thing, but no. So it was very challenging. So the paint's got CQuartz UK. All the trim has Delux, and what else have we got? Windows got Flyby Forte. Polished the B-pillars, polished the headlights. This one here has water inside it. The other one's not too bad, it came out a bit better. You can see it's much clearer. But this one has water. I think they said it's had water in it from within 6 months of buying it. So anyway, so yeah, Delux on the trim at the top, all the trim down the bottom, Carpro Pearl on the tyres, Delux on the wheels, so they were cleaned with Meguiar's wheel brightener, and then Delux put on there. So the scrubbed out all the wheel arches and put some Carpro Pearl up inside there. The grille, he's got Delux. Polished the B-pillars, got CQuartz on those. So yes,
That's got Delux on it. Old matey at the back there, the little stand. The Lexus with the Lexus badge. This is difficult. This is probably the hardest job I think I've ever taken on. I was hoping to do a one-step polish, and it was obvious fairly early that that wasn't going to happen, unfortunately. There's just too many things not going my way with that. One of them being it wouldn't cut enough, and then if I polished too long, the polish would, because the paint's so soft, the polish would sort of stick onto the panels, and oh man, so I had to dial it right back. So the interior was cleaned and coated also, so we got leather coating, carpet leather coating on the seats, and Delux on all the plastic bits. There she is, there's the door, and my usual clean the door frames, door sills, and so we've got CQuartz on the wood panel, Delux everywhere else. See, she's nice and clean all inside there. And as I said, the seats got leather coating. I've vacuumed all the floors, and I have the mats up there. They got Capro fabric coating on them, and I'm just waiting to, here's the mats. So they're just drying now. I'm about to put them back in. Customer will be here very shortly. It's a very warm but dry, windy day, and very static electricity, which is, you don't want to be working on a black car in these conditions. Let me tell you, it's just a pain in the arse. So yeah, both tail lights were polished. Once again, the trim there has got the old Delux on it. We'll get up and have a look at the roof in a sec. And here's this side, all coated up there and down in here, and all done through there, all the vents. There's a door, the door frames. He was coated too, old matey down there, all that was coated. Basically everything got a coating. Here we go back there, that all got coated back there. Yes, I would have liked to have, you know, I've only been at this game for 5 years, and this car basically took me to the edge of my experience, and it would have been great to be able to get some advice while I was working. Just to reassure that I was on the right track. But anyway, I guess that's what learning's all about. So look at this roof, it's all done. All coated, all polished. Unfortunately, this is where the worst scratches were, up top here, along here, on here, and just the same area, but over there. And this has only got 89 UM, very light polish up here. So these had oxidized quite a bit, so I decided to give them a very fine polish with Menzerna 4000 and microfiber cloth, just to get rid of that top layer of oxidization. So I then put the coating on, and that other little plastic rail there goes underneath it. He's got coating on him, coating on the windscreens and the windshield, the windscreen cowling. So yeah, I think it's come up pretty good. But man, I tell you, I haven't done a car with black paint for quite a while, and golly. Golly, it was tough. So I'm pretty much wasted. I'm about to take this back and see what's on the cars for the next one. So anyway, there it is, the Lexus, I think it's an RX. I'll just put you on pause. Yes, it's a Lexus RS 350, 2008, so it's 10 years old. That's why, you know, it was a battle. To get all the paint levelled and that, but anyway, I did my best, and this is what it's got. So the customer's on the way, and we'll go from there. You have a good day, and I'll catch you later.